Yo, SilverDFanng back with more YouTube reactions. Hi, guys. I forgot to flip my page. So we got the company that owns sports instead of ads by the Fat Electrician. Love Fat Electrician. He does a lot of these deep dives. I knew some of Red Bull's history in sports. There's so much, and it goes so far back. It's a trip. Also, Thai. Enjoy. This is the company that owns sports instead of advertising. The Fat Files.
I had no idea that this was the third largest beverage company on the planet.
Red Bull's number 3. Yes, Red Bull being big is not a surprise, but number 3, when you really think of the big drink brands, that is pretty insane. Like, we're talking alcohol, too.
Today we're talking about Red Bull. Why are we looking into energy drinks? 1, because I drink energy drinks and I like them. And 2, I actually own part of an energy drink company, Echelon, and I decided, you know, if I want my energy drink company to be successful, I should probably look at what all the other successful companies are doing.
That's a good thing for anything. I look at other VTubers and I see if what I could take from them. So it makes sense to like look at other successful companies and see what you could take from it,
So I can replicate it or improve upon it.
Genius.
Be honest with you, I almost skipped right past Red Bull, went straight to Monster because, well, honestly, I don't really like Red Bull. I think it tastes like cough syrup.
Red Bull is very basic. It's been a while since I've drank energy drinks, but Red Bull, unlike other ones, kind of stuck to its guns, and it's only like one flavor, which is kind of meh.
It's got way too much sugar in it. I don't like their tiny little cans. You guys have seen my wife. I'm an Arizona tea-size can kind of guy.
That means 2 things.
Until I did the research for this video, I was thoroughly convinced.
Did he just call his wife fat? And proud of it? Okay.
The only reason Red Bull was still in business was because it tastes good mixed with vodka, and the only reason people think it tastes good mixed with vodka is because it's the only option of energy drink any bar ever has. But then the voice in the back of my head is like, wait a minute, why is Red Bull the only option at every bar ever? Like, how come bars aren't offering like White Monster or Cherry Lime?
This is something we've talked about before. A lot of companies will pay for they'll put money into these kind of companies, and in return, they get exclusivity, which they make their money back because they're the only people that can be there. You see it in a lot of grocery stores, but there it's a little bit different. But yeah, you see this in a lot of like bars and stuff.
Or Echelon or any other energy drink that tastes 1,000 times better. And then also, how come every gas station I've ever been to has an entire, you know, like door dedicated almost exclusively to Red Bull while all the other energy drinks have to share shelf space? So I'm like, okay, maybe I'm living in a bubble. Maybe Red Bull's way more popular than I think it is. And boy, is it, because they have 43% of the global market share for energy drinks. To put that into perspective, they sold almost 14 billion cans of Red Bull last year. Okay.
I wanted to see in my head if that even does that make sense? It really doesn't. Even if okay, the average person, the average energy drink fan, I think does drink 2, maybe 3 a day. Even then, billion is really big.
You understand how big of a number 14 billion is? That's 200,000 tons of aluminum just for the cans alone.
Yeah, I'm trying to say why the earth is dying. We are monsters.
Okay, that's like 440 million pounds of aluminum every single year just in Red Bull cans. Okay, I'm just yelling big numbers at this point. To put it into perspective, the Iowa-class battleships, the biggest battleship America's ever created, is 57,000 tons.
Jesus.
You're putting out Red Bull cans equivalent to 4 of the largest battleships ever fucking made every single...
Knowing the history of soda and battleships, don't give Red Bull ideas. They might have a fleet.
Year. So yeah, they're way more popular than I thought, and we're gonna get into it right after a word from our sponsor. This video is brought to you by Henson's Shaving. Okay, look, they've sponsored the channel before, and every single time I get comments, why is the guy with the beard recommending a shaving product? Okay, I have to separate the face hair from the chest hair.
Yeah, as someone also with fur, as you can see, just because you have fur, a shaver isn't just, okay, 1 and 0. No, you want areas of clean and areas of bushiness. You want it to look nice.
at some point, okay? There is some amount of shaving going on. And for that shaving, I use Henson's. Why? Because they sent me one for free 3 years ago and paid me a bunch of money to do ads for them. Obviously, you weren't expecting a YouTuber to be upfront about it, were you?
Nope.
But also, I wouldn't be doing the ads if I didn't like the company, so why do I like the company? The product's cool, it looks cool, and it works. What else do you want from a razor? Oh, also, it's way cheaper than everything else on the market. It doesn't seem like it at first because the razor itself is $79.99. It's machined out of aircraft-grade aluminum, but once you buy it, you're done. It's gonna last you the rest of your life, and then the only thing you ever have to buy again to keep shaving is actual shaving safety razors, and that's it. You can get them from anywhere. All the safety razors fit. You don't have to buy their special proprietary ones, and it's like one box is $5, and it's lasted me 3 years. I haven't even got through my first box yet. Every other shaving company is like, oh, we buy our special handle, and then we have these click cartridges that go on top, and on the click cartridge, there's 17 different smaller razor blades, and there's this gel pad that gums up after 2 fucking uses.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's 5 cartridges. It's like $30. It'll last you about a month. So you can basically spend like $30 to $40 a month on shaving stuff, or you could just pony up one time, buy the thing you need, and then you could shave for the rest of your life. That's it. That's the ad. Buy nice shit, buy it once, use it for the rest of your life. I'll have a link in the description down below. Back to the video. All right, let's take it from the top. 1976, Thailand. There's this guy by the name of Chaleo Yovuda. He grew up in rural Thailand as the son of a duck
Red Bull is Thai? Damn, I kind of like Red Bull more now.
farmer, which I didn't know was a thing, but whatever. Anyways, he grows up, he decides he doesn't want to be a duck farmer forever, so he moves down to the big city of Bangkok, the capital of Thailand. While there, he works as a bus driver and a pharmaceutical salesperson, and then eventually opens up his own pharmaceutical company called TC Pharmaceuticals.
Of course
they
he does.
basically import cosmetics and antibiotics. And in 1976, he decides he wants to create his own energy tonic, which is a popular product in Asia at this point in time, not really popular or well known anywhere else in the world. Basically, it's like the predecessor to what we know as an energy drink today. It's these little shots that you can buy at the pharmacy. They've
So popular in Asia. You will see these in like every little convenience store.
got caffeine, taurine, B vitamins, all the shit that's in a normal energy drink. You go to the pharmacy, you buy it, you drink it. It's like drinking an energy drink. Buh! I heard they put bull cum in it too. Buh! No, they did not put bull semen in the Red Bull, okay? It's an internet myth. The whole myth comes from the word taurine, which is in like every energy drink ever. Taurine refers to the word Taurus, you know, like a bull, and everybody's like, oh, it must obviously mean bull semen. No, it's literally just a derivative of red meat, okay? You get taurine from eating a steak, they just extract it and they put it inside the energy drink, okay? It's not that. Moving on.
I assumed there was semen on everything.
So he ends up making his own. He calls it Krating Dang, which is Thai for red gore, and a gore is like this type of bull-looking animal they have over in Thailand. It's like a symbol of strength. And from here, he just starts selling his product. He's a pharmaceutical rep. It's an easy layup for him, right? Oh, you want to buy this new energy tonic too? Great, here you go. And he's selling it to all these pharmacies. And then he decides, you know what? People that are shopping at pharmacies don't really need energy drinks. The people that need this are people like my parents, the farmers, the people like me when I was being a bus driver, like blue-collar people that are actually working for a living are the people that need this product. I need to market it towards them. So he starts marketing to the blue-collar workforce, and the main way he does this is by sponsoring Muay Thai fights, which is like the biggest sport in Thailand.
So this isn't a new thing. They from the get-go, they knew the best way to combine energy drinks is with sports. We'll get there. That's what this video is about, but like I do know how much Red Bull promotes. So this is not a new thing. I thought it was like a new thing that they started like a couple of years ago.
It's like sponsoring the NFL in America. And pretty soon he goes from selling his product inside of pharmacies to selling his product in pretty much every convenience store type location. I mean, they don't really have gas stations back then in Thailand like America has gas stations, but think of like roadside mom and pop shops where you'd buy like food, water, drinks, stuff like that. Anything you would need, there's Krating Dang there right by the register. Okay, it's kind of like those weird gas station boner pills that you see at truck stops, okay? Don't give me that look. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
There's
got like the
pills?
one pill in the package with like a rhino charging at you and like an explosion in the background. It's like, be bigger, harder, for longer, bleh. Okay, and then right next to that, there's Krating Dang.
I don't think we have boner pills in our gas stations in Canada. Sorry.
An energy tonic with two giant
Check
Red
out the
Bulls
Panda
headbutting
Pet
each other.
Cafe
Like
to play with
it's
me.
one of those. But Krating Dang actually becomes outrageously popular and is being sold all over Thailand because, again, Chaleo tapped into a market that nobody else was targeting, blue-collar, hardworking people that actually needed a product like this. Fast forward to 1984, an Austrian businessman by the name of Dietrich Matchowitz.
I don't like his face.
His name's Dietrich.
You say your name right. right now.
He's a marketing guy for some big company. He flies into Thailand for a business meeting. He's got jet lag, so before his business meeting, he stops at a convenience store, sees this energy tonic that's supposed to, you know, give you a little pick-me-up, decides to drink it. It cures his jet lag. He absolutely loves it. Problem is, they don't have products like this anywhere in Europe where he's from. And he's a marketing guy. He sees the potential. So he ends up going to Chaleo and like, hey, we need to start a new company and start marketing this to Europe and the United States of America. People in the West would absolutely love this shit. So they end up working out a deal. Chaleo can keep SilverDFanng. That's his own company. That's his thing. That's what they're going to sell in Asia.
No.
But they're going to start a new company to market this product in Europe.
No. God, we've seen this a million times. Marketing white man. And it's not always white man versus not white man. It's usually just white man versus everyone. But yeah, marketing white man, it's like, hey, how about I own the branding and the merchandise and the thing that you created over here in the bigger markets. You can keep tiny market. God, dude, why don't you just work with him as a co-owner? God, this is so slimy, and this is our history.
In the United States of America, and nobody knows what the fuck a gore is in those places, so they're going to rename it to Bull, and they create what we know today as Red Bull. 49% owned by Chaleo, 49% owned by Dietrich, and 2% owned by Chaleo's son.
You guys are getting paid?
Dietrich then takes SilverDFanng back over to Europe for product testing.
That's better. That is what I'm talking about. So okay, never mind. This one's not too bad.
And people do not like it, okay? It's not very good. It's literally like medicine at this point in time. So they refine the formula, they add some sugar, they carbonate it, they make it more like a beverage, and then they send it back into product testing, and it does okay. Okay, this is the same flavor of Red Bull that we have today, right? Like, it's not good. And I'm assuming it's because flavor science back in, like, the 1980s wasn't that great. Like, energy drinks today, they taste exactly like Sour Patch Kids or Swedish Fish or anything that you can have a flavor for. They somehow managed to make that liquid taste like that. Like, you could have a Doritos flavored energy drink if that's what you really wanted in 2026. And then you have like Red Bull, the OG energy drink, and it tastes like Red Bull. Like there's no even identifiable flavor that it kind of tastes like. It tastes like sweet chemicals.
Refreshing.
Kerosene is fuel,
Thanks,
Brian.
Chef Spiral.
Fuel. Kerosene is Red Bull. See, Brian, I feel great.
Now, to most people,
I will say, to me, Red Bull is lemon lime.
You'd be like, okay, well, let's figure out how to make it taste better so people will want to drink it. But Dietrich, being a mad genius, is like, no. Tasting like shit is actually a strength, because then if it tastes like medicine, people will know that it actually works. Which is one of those things where it's like, it's so stupid that it's actually brilliant, because that's exactly what a lot of people are going to think. Like, I know so many people that are like, no, if it sucks to do, it must be good for me. Okay, if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, I'm trying to tell you that Red Bull is like the craft beer of the energy drink world. Okay,
So, I mean, I don't know if it's in the U.S., but Buckley's is a medicine, and literally their slogan is, Buckley's, it tastes awful, but it works. It does taste awful, but Buckley's is one of the best cough syrup medicine you can ever get.
I've been around these craft beer people where you like go to the brewery with them and they're like, oh, do you like IPAs? Do you like sours? And you're like, I have no idea, dude. I just like beer. Just whatever you recommend, that's what I'll try. And then they order you what they supposedly like and they hand it to you. It doesn't even look like beer. It looks like a potion that some wizard just made in the back. It's all thick and foamy and shit. It's always got some stupid name like, okay, this is my favorite IPA. It's Purple Unicorn Muffin Tops. Then you take a smell of it and it smells like grass clippings and regret. And you're like, you don't want to be rude. So you try this guy's good beer and it tastes like you dissolved a pine cone and acetone. It's horrible. And then they get all smug and arrogant like, oh, you don't like it? Can you not handle the hoppiness? You don't like the bitterness of it? Maybe your palate's just not refined enough. Now, like, no, fuck off. That tastes like carbonated tree bark. You know that tastes horrible.
This tastes like somebody poured it for a old boot. Actually, it's a sneaker.
Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. Anyways, Red Bull is supposed to taste bad. Like, it's part of the marketing strategy. And from here, Dietrich really turns on the marketing genius because he's like, you know what would pair perfectly with we've designed it to taste bad so people know that it works? If we combined it with being a luxury product. SilverDFanng was marketed to, blue-collar, hardworking people. It was sold for fairly cheap. So Dietrich is going to take basically a carbonated version with more sugar of the same product.
What? Rage marketing white man in Austria is like, no, blue-collar, ew. We want princes and princesses. We want ducheties to like our Red Bull.
He's going to put it in a slimmer, fancy, prettier...
Terrible Austrian accent. My bad. I don't know what Austrians sound like.
can, and he's going to market it to rich people instead and jack the price through the roof. Okay, I'm going off the rails again. I'm sorry. It's IPAs. It's literally a carbon copy of the IPA business model, even though Red Bull did it first. Like, literally, IPAs, you could go to the liquor store, buy a 30 rack of Busch Light, Miller Light, Coors Light, whatever beer you want, or counteroffer, you could buy a 4-pack of IPAs that have a pretty can and a quirky name and taste like shit for 3 times the price. But hey, you get to pretend like you're sophisticated and better than everybody else, so it's worth it. I'm sorry, I really don't like IPAs, if you guys can't tell. Moving on. Anyways, Dietrich jacks the price up. It costs like 9 cents to manufacture a can of Red Bull. They're selling anywhere from $3 to $6 a can, depending on size. Now remember, we're trying to sell this to rich people. We're trying to be a luxury item. Where do we go to target rich people? So they start selling this stuff at ski resorts.
Smart.
And around the same time in the late 1980s, there was this other thing going on at ski resorts that was like this cultural revolution around ski resorts. Snowboarding. It was like the skater rebellious version of skiing that was for more like grungy, less hoity-toity people. And you know who fucking loved Red Bull and energy drinks? It was all the snowboarders. And Red Bull geniusly recognized this, right? Because sponsoring already established mainstream athletics is extremely expensive, but here's this other new up-and-coming sport that we think is going to be big, and they already love our product. We're going to start investing in that instead. So Red Bull starts sponsoring a bunch of snowboarders, and then
this is what I wanted to get at. So yeah, I said 5 years. That's not right. 5 years is something else he might talk about. But yeah, for like 20 years that I've known, Red Bull has been like the biggest partner of the X Games. If you ever see snowboarding or like skateboarding or biking, Red Bull's there. I remember Red Bull having their own like, it was kind of like a derby, but for skiing, and like, it was cool.
That expands out into all the other extreme sports like skateboarding and BMX, and then it turns into Red Bull's just sponsoring anything that's like that high adrenaline junkie type stuff that you see on the internet, like jumping out of planes in a squirrel suit, or like racing a car down a mountain really fast, like anything that's dangerous where you're like, holy shit, how does somebody get that good at doing that without dying? Red Bull's sponsoring that now. Then Red Bull realizes like, okay, this demographic is almost exclusively like young men, so that's our demographic. That's who we're going to target. We're going to target young dudes that want to be amped up and do crazy shit. We can't target high schoolers yet because they're not of age, so we're going to target the next best thing, college kids.
So that's all lies, because I got into Red Bull, my friends got into Red Bull in elementary, middle school. Because again, we were skateboarders, we were bikers, because that was like the peak culture at the time. Red Bull was promoted to us everywhere. So this is, on the surface, we are not going for underage, but we're going for underage.
Red Bull starts going to all the big party colleges in the country and starts finding like the guy that throws all the parties or like the fraternities and just starts giving them cases and cases of Red Bull for free. Like, here, drink this shit. They hired hot college chicks in little Red Bull mini skirts and outfits to walk around college campuses giving out Red Bulls for free out of cooler backpacks. They went as far as going to popular events with a lot of people and filling a bunch of the trash cans up completely with empty Red Bull cans, so people would see that and be like, holy shit, that's a popular product, and they would go buy it at the concession stand when they were there. This cost them a ton of money, probably tens if not hundreds of millions of dollars in free product that they just gave out. But it was totally worth it, because guess what a bunch of college kids are going to do with free energy drinks? They're going to mix them with alcohol so they can party harder, longer, and this was the birth of the vodka Red Bull, which turned into people going to bars asking for a vodka Red Bull. So naturally, after the bars got asked enough for vodka Red Bulls, they decided they needed to start stocking Red Bull. And that is why bars pretty much exclusively only carry Red Bull and no other energy drinks, because they were the only energy drink around and everybody wanted vodka Red Bulls. So when they started stocking Red Bulls so they can make vodka Red Bulls for everybody, Red Bull made them sign a licensing agreement like, hey, we'll give you this free little Red Bull mini fridge, we'll stock it for you, but here's the deal, you're only allowed to sell Red Bull energy drinks. And everybody agreed to it, because at the time, they were the only energy drink around, and all those licensing agreements are still in place, and that's why almost every single bar, at least in the United States of America, just has Red Bull. So from here, Red Bull just becomes outrageously popular. Like, it is the OG energy drink. It's literally the third most profitable beverage company on the planet. It's Coca-Cola, Pepsi, then Red Bull. And if we're being honest, Coca-Cola and Pepsi aren't planet. It's Coca-Cola.
Okay, I just want to look at this list. Okay, so we got Coke, we got Pepsi. Those are, okay, so this is not all alcohol and stuff like that. It's just soft drinks. Okay. Still, Nescafe, that's like iced tea and like other like ice tea, cold drink base. Wait, Isn't Sprite owned by Coke? I don't know. I thought Sprite was Coke. Monster's getting up there, that's for sure. Monster's big. Gatorade was big in like the 80s and 90s, but it does feel like it's slowly going down. Dr. Pepper, Mountain Dew, Lipton. Hi, May. Brands, not, yeah, you're right. It's brands, not companies. Okay, that makes sense because, yeah, I think Pepsi owns Dr. Pepper. Coke owns Sprite. Mountain Dew is owned by one of them. Gatorade, I think, is owned by one of them. Yeah, my bad. Brands. Actually, I think everyone that's British, I'm not British, everything that's American, I think, is owned by one of these two companies. I do love that it's the Austrian flag. It should be the Thai flag. Neat.
Pepsi, then Red Bull. And if we're being honest, Coca-Cola and Pepsi aren't really competitors with Red Bull because soda and energy drinks are two different things with two completely different markets. So as far as I'm concerned, Red Bull is the Coca-Cola of the energy drink world, and just like Coca-Cola, they also got accused of having cocaine in their drink. Yeah, around this time, Red Bull was getting super popular, obviously very popular with young people, so naturally, older people fucking hated it for no apparent reason. They're like, oh, it's bad for you, it's unhealthy. They're lecturing all the youth about it while drinking black coffee and smoking on a cigarette, explaining how it's bad for your heart. And then one of the things they brought up, just trying to pin Red Bull to the wall on anything they could find, was Red Bull had a like organics flavor that was Red Bull Cola, and it tested hot for having cocaine in it. Basically, because it was a cola flavor, they were using coca leaves, you know, Coca-Cola. They were using coca leaves. They were decoconized leaves, meaning they didn't have cocaine in them, kind of like decaf coffee doesn't really have caffeine, but there's still like a tiny little itty bitty trace amount of cocaine in the leaves, just like with Coca-Cola. So they went to the table being like, there's cocaine in this.
I don't know. I swear to God. Swear to me.
Anyways, Red Bull ended up like hiring the scientist.
That is the truth. Every generation wants to dunk on the younger generation when it's something new that they love. It's like, oh, you're way healthier. It's like, here's your addiction. Here's your addiction. It's like everyone is addicted to something. Just let them be addicted. Apparently, Keurig owns Dr. Pepper? Huh. No, that makes no sense, but that is cool.
And they're like, you would have to drink like 12,000 cans of Red Bull to actually have that cocaine take effect. Literally, you would OD on every other ingredient in the Red Bull before you ever got a high from that level of cocaine. I believe the official wording was it was a negligible amount of cocaine, which honestly sounds like you went to court with Charlie Sheen as your lawyer. But hey, that's a great name for an energy drink flavor. Like, that should be the official flavor name of Red Bull. Negligible amount of cocaine. So from here, Red Bull spends years and probably a ton of money, like hundreds of millions of dollars in courts, battling with governments. They're getting banned in different countries in Europe, then they get them unbanned, then they end up getting sued because their OG tagline was Red Bull gives you wings.
Oh my God, this bullshit.
Red Bull doesn't actually give you wings.
Oh my God, I remember this fucking dumb bullshit. I was a kid and even I knew, no, of course it doesn't give you fucking wings. But you know, parent groups, it's like my child that I don't pay attention to 23 hours of the day did something stupid. Who can I blame that isn't me? They could... No, I feel like Keurig might have bought Dr. Pepper, but you're right. They could have merged. They're not part of the Coca-Cola company. Interesting. Oh, so Coke is kind of like a middleman. Oh, interesting.
Apparently, I guess they actually ended up losing the lawsuit because the court said, well, yeah, we didn't actually think it would give us wings, but we thought it would increase our athletic performance, and they couldn't scientifically prove that drinking Red Bull increased the performance, so they ended up losing the lawsuit.
Oh, okay.
But Red Bull comes out the other side bigger, stronger, more popular than ever. And at this point, like I said, they're the third biggest drink company on the planet. They're making billions of dollars a year. And they're like, okay, we've got the whole, you know, young extreme sports thing on lock. We've got the college kids on lock. Now every bar is only allowed to sell Red Bull. Where do we go from here? We're finally ready. We're finally a big enough company. We can start doing those mainstream sporting athletic sponsorships that we were thinking about originally because we can afford it now. Not only can we afford it, we can afford to go a step further. You know what's cooler than sponsoring an athletic team or sponsoring an athlete, just buying the fucking team outright. Red Bull just starts buying entire professional sports teams. They have one of the largest and most diverse professional sport team portfolios of any other entity on the planet. They're the only company on the planet that owns 2 F1 teams. They own 6 professional soccer teams, 6 pro hockey teams. They have a pro rugby team. Like, they own everything. And in another stroke of genius, they go a step further with it. Because they're buying multiple sports teams in the same sport, they use one of the sports teams as like their main team with their best talent, and they use the other sports teams as like their reserve where they train people.
It's disgusting, and there should be rules against this because it is insider fucking trading. Literally.
Up and get them really good and build them a fan base, and then they eventually migrate up to the top level team. And in doing this, an athlete's pretty likely to end up being like a Red Bull soccer player his entire career, or a Red Bull F1 driver his entire career. So now not only is Red Bull associated with like the team franchise, it'd be like being associated with the Indianapolis Colts. Now instead, every athlete on that team and that athlete's fan base is associated with Red Bull as well. So now Red Bull isn't just to, you know, keep with the analogy, it's not just associated with like the Indianapolis Colts. Now it's associated with Peyton Manning. It's brilliant. They've vertically integrated everything flawlessly. So now not only are they making money selling their energy drinks, they use that money to buy professional sports teams to promote their energy drink, to sell more energy drinks, but also the professional sports teams are really good and they're making money too. Rather than paying to promote their product like every other company on the planet, Red Bull literally figured out how to get paid to promote their product. It's crazy. And then their social media marketing gets even crazier because they're getting paid to do that too. Look at their YouTube channel, 27 million subscribers, and every video has millions, tens of millions, if not hundreds.
They go insanely hard on their YouTube. Red Bull also does some cool promotions with extreme sports. Yes, he talked about that earlier, but yeah, Red Bull and extreme sports are hand in hand at this point. I don't think he's going to talk about it, but they also connected to a lot of streamers, and they actually are like the main like promotional for a lot of big stream events. Ludwig's stream games was hosted by Red Bull every year.
Hundreds of millions of views. Okay, inside baseball, there's no like standard base pay for like how much money you get per view if you're big on YouTube. It depends on creator, length of video, what demographic you're in, yada, yada, yada. But the general rule of thumb is every million views is about $5,000. They've got 164 million views on a single video. That's like $820,000 they made to promote their own product. And none of these videos come off as like an advertisement. It's all just crazy people doing crazy shit. Like they're doing parkour in an airport. There's one.
No, I absolutely am proud of Red Bull. The only thing that I'm like, maybe you shouldn't be allowed to do this is owning multiple teams in one league. That feels very gross, but I like what they're doing for extreme sports and content creators.
Where they're like driving a 10-ton Red Bull truck down the most dangerous road in the world. There's another one where a dude skydives from outer fucking space. Like they.
Holy shit! I forgot about that. Yeah, it was such a big event. This happened like 10 years ago, maybe 15. Dude, like professional, like Daredevil, got a shell rocket thingy, not in space, but at the border of space and Earth, drops and then just dives down. And it's, everything you see is Red Bull, Red Bull, Red Bull.
Just associated Red Bull with doing crazy cool shit. And they figured out how to get paid every single step of the way because they're not just getting paid for getting 164 million YouTube views. That's 164 million people that just watched an inadvertent Red Bull advertisement and are now going to subconsciously associate Red Bull with doing something awesome. And that's the big takeaway from this. It's branding. Red Bull is not the best tasting energy drink. It's not the healthiest energy drink. There's almost no metric where you can give Red Bull the title of best at anything involving being an energy drink, but they have the best brand. It's not about being the best, it's about being the favorite, which makes complete sense because you have to appeal to human emotion. You have to connect to people to be able to get them to spend money on your product. Think about it like a UFC fighter. You could be the best UFC fighter on the planet. You're undefeated. You finish everybody in the first round. But if you're an unlikable asshole and you don't have any fans, you're not going to get paid a lot of money. You could be a B-tier fighter that goes in there and has entertaining fights. He wins some, he loses some, never becomes a world champion, but he's he's got a ton of fans because people like him, that guy's going to get paid more money by the UFC because that's how it goes, because he generates more money because he's the favorite. And Red Bull, because of their genius marketing strategy, is the favorite, and that's why they're successful. Thank you for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch, maybe drink some Echelon. All that's available over the FatElectrician.com. Quack, bang, out.
Yeah, Red Bull is not the best drink. Go figure. The biggest company isn't the one with the best product, it's the one with the best marketing. We've seen this with McDonald's, we've seen this with KFC. It's not about quality, it's about marketing. That was good. Okay, there's something I'm curious about. What was it? Yeah. Red Bull owned sports teams. Energy drink cocktails are cursed anyway. Well, they talked about that. Like, how that happened was Red Bull would go to a lot of the party colleges and would give them free Red Bull, and that's how the Red Bull vodka started, and then it became a bigger thing. Okay, let me see. They own Paris FC. For anyone that doesn't know soccer, that is a big club. This doesn't really help me. Wait, subcategories. No, this doesn't help. Fine, I'll use the robot. Okay, they own RB Leipzig, Germany. Okay, Real Bull Salzburg, Austria. That makes sense. New York Red Bulls, USA. Okay, so it looks like at least for soccer they are in different leagues at least. Nope, there's two Austria. Yeah, they got two. Okay, so how football works? Second league isn't necessarily like minors. It is. If they win enough, they can make it to the Premier League. So yeah, they are kind of in the same league. Motorsports, ice hockey. Okay, so these are European teams. Okay, looks honestly not, except for the two Austria football teams, looks pretty okay. Hey, thanks for checking out this video. Check me out on Twitch, SilverDFanng, 2 N's in Fang. Check me out on Twitter and Blue Sky under the same name. Also TikTok. Have a great night.